in the middle of your brain called the pineal gland. All right? The size of a pea, and that little gland produces four main hormones when you sleep in total darkness. It's a light-sensitive gland, so anytime you get up and turn the light on, that little gland shuts down. But let me tell you about the four hormones that it produces when you're sleeping in darkness. Let's deal with the first one, which is melatonin. Okay? Perhaps the most powerful antioxidant that your body produces naturally. All right? And we know how powerful antioxidants are when it comes to good health. And it not only produces this, produces antioxidant melatonin. Melatonin is also what regulates your 24-hour body clock. Okay? And that's why you find that people who work shift work or, don't get much sleep are a little bit testy and ratty. It doesn't mean that they're, not good people, just that enough melatonin is not produced to, make them feel comfortable and at ease. All right? The other one is called serotonin. And serotonin actually regulates your mood. It makes you feel happy. And two parts of your body produce serotonin. One is the pineal gland, and that serotonin is used mainly in the brain. But then your gut produces about 80% of your serotonin, and that production is contingent upon what you're eating, the quality and type of foods you're eating. All right? So that is your mood hormone. The third one, of course, is melanin, right? And we know a lot about melanin. Mm-hmm. And melanin, of course, we have different types. We have eumelanin, which we, Africans have. And there's also phenomelanin, which people of lighter complexions produce, all right? Mm-hmm. And the final one, the fourth one, is a bit of a long-winded word, dimethyltryptamine, shortened to DMT, which is regarded as the spirit molecule, all right? And why it's called the spirit molecule is, according to science, although it's present in the body, it is only present in large quantities on two occasions. One is when an egg is fertilized so that a new life comes into being. And the second time is when a person dies. And that's perhaps the reason why it's called the spirit molecule. Okay? Mm-hmm. Right. So that is about sleep. So sleep is particularly important for those four reasons and others which time will not allow us to cover because we have to cover a few other things and we have limited time. Yeah. Okay, let's look at diet. What is a diet? Do I eat this or do I eat that? Right? Yeah. A lot of us eat food. Some of it is non-nutritious food, and some of us eat very nutritious food. But your diet is particularly important because there are three main components to your diet, and you have to pay a lot of attention to these three things: carbohydrate, protein, and fat. All right? Yeah. When it comes to carbohydrate, you should be eating complex carbohydrate, not simple carbohydrate. And by complex carbohydrate, I mean things like sweet potato, pumpkin, okra, yes, plantain, stuff like that. Yeah. Reason you should be eating these things is that they release their complex and they release their sugar slowly and over a prolonged period of time. They also keep you full for longer, so you don't feel the need to eat soon after you've eaten this complex carbohydrate. simple carbohydrates, of course, release the sugar almost immediately within a short period of time. And we're talking here about bread and pudding and cakes and, those kind of simple things that people eat. Sweet, encouraging, but they do very little for your blood sugar because they spike it.
Yeah.
You eat it, you get a rush of blood sugar.
Fix.
Yes, a rush of energy. Within a very short period of time, you're flat down again, and you have to repeat the process just to keep going. And by these constant spikes in your blood sugar, of course, can result in diabetes.
Yes.
And really, you want to keep away from that. Okay? So those are the three main things that make up your diet. Carbohydrates is the first one. The second one, of course, is fat. Now, fat is what really makes the food taste good. If you cook without any kind of fat, the food isn't going to taste as good as if you have some fats in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we come to what type of fat. Is it going to be saturated fat? Or is it going to be unsaturated fat? Okay? Is it going to be dairy products from which you get a lot of saturated fat? Or is it going to be other foods like olive oil, coconut oil, from which you get fat, but it is not a harmful fat like the saturated fat you get from dairy products. Mm-hmm. Although coconut oil in itself is a saturated fat, it is a different type of saturated fat from that you get from dairy products. Okay? And your body doesn't see coconut oil as a fat. It treats it like a carbohydrate, and it burns it immediately as fuel, because fat is really fuel. Food is fuel. All right?
Yeah.
And that is why, if you really want to lose weight, you should add coconut oil to your diet. It's a little bit of a contradiction, because what you're doing is using a fat to burn fat.
Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah.
But because your body isn't storing it as it would fat from a saturated means, it doesn't put on weight. Okay? Mm-hmm. Coconut oil is especially good as well for keeping your joints lithe and supple, and it is also good when it comes to your brain, because there's a lot of anecdotal information out there with regards to its role in keeping Alzheimer's at bay or reducing the severity of Alzheimer's. All right? And of course, carbohydrate, fat, and protein. Now, the question is, where are you going to get your protein from? Are you going to go to dairy products or animal products to get your protein? Or are you going to go to your beans and your peas and your legumes to get your protein? All right? So you've got a choice of where you get your protein from. So when you eat lentils and chickpeas and black-eyed peas and red kidney beans, split peas, those and quinoa, they're all proteins. Mm-hmm. But they don't come with the same, should I say, adverse conditions that animal protein bring with them. Mm. Ironically, though, however, there is something that must be mentioned. And the evidence is showing that people who have relied on lentils and chickpeas for their protein are missing out in two essential acids, DHA and EPA, which come from meat or fish. So what the evidence is suggesting is that people should find other ways of, apart from dairy, of adding these two essential acids to your diet. All right?
Yeah.
Good. So that is 2 down. We've got 4 more to go. I'm going to speed up.
Yeah, we've got 11 minutes.
7 minutes?
11.
11 minutes. Hydration. Water especially, that's what we talk about when we talk about hydration. And since our human body is about 70% water, and most of our organs are essentially water, we have to ensure that these organs are properly hydrated in order to function at optimum level. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of us don't drink adequate amounts of water. And of course, as we get older, something strange happens in our bodies. We actually lose our taste for water. So our thirst buds seem to disappear, and it shows up as hunger rather than thirst. So the tendency for older people is to eat because suddenly they're feeling hungry, not realizing that, hold on, this is really thirst showing up as hunger. So I should be drinking water instead of eating, in view of the fact that I've only recently eaten.
Mm.
But if you start drinking water when that happens, the science shows that your thirst comes back, and you can then differentiate between thirst and hunger.
Mm.
All right? In addition to doing that, what you're doing is now hydrating your body, hydrating your organs, your cells, everything like that. Right? But here's something very interesting. It's been questioned, but for 14 years, this Dr. Pollack, researched certain fruits and vegetables, cabbages, radishes, watermelons, pineapples, cucumbers, and he actually came to the conclusion that the juice, what we would call the juice from these fruits and vegetables, he said it's more hydrating than H2O, ordinary water.
Yeah.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And he called it EZ water, or gel water, GEL, or structured water. Okay?
Mm.
And he says that this type of water gets into the cells much more readily than the H2O and hydrates your cells better than H2O. Not only that, but he also made the point that this type of water from vegetables and fruit also come with minerals and vitamins that the H2O does not provide. So his suggestion is, okay, you don't need to drink as much as 3 liters of water or 2.5 liters of water as suggested by, the medical profession and other people over the years. What you can actually do is cut back on the amount of water you're drinking a little bit, and instead eat some watermelon and pineapple, and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So that is hydration, of course, and it depends on the time of year, because you'll be drinking more water in the summer than winter.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And your size, and of course, whether you're exercising or not, and how hot it is, all that is factored into it. Right. Stress. There's good stress and bad stress. All right?
Yeah.
Every one of us need a little bit of stress from time to time, because really that's what galvanizes us into action, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
Without a little bit of stress, we suffer from inertia.
Yes.
Okay? And it's like, a rocking chair?
Mm-hmm.
Sit down in a rocking chair, it gives you something to do, doesn't it?
Yes, of course.
But it doesn't get you anywhere, does it?
It can put you to sleep.
All right, okay, great, yes, it can put you to sleep. But anyhow, excessive stress, yes, severe stress, prolonged stress is not good for the human body, because when you're stressed out, the chemicals, you'll have a chemical change in your body, and this can give rise to inflammation. Okay? And inflammation, we know, is the root cause of 98% of disease.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we want to relax and not be stressed out. How to get rid of stress? Well, different people do it in different ways. Some play games, right? Some read, some listen to music, all kind of different things. But one of the most effective ways of getting rid of stress is to meditate.
Yes.
Go within yourself, sit down for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, think of nothing, relax. And that is absolutely brilliant for getting rid of stress. I recommend it to anybody because I practice it myself. Okay, I listen to certain types of music, and I listen to chimes and other things played at a certain frequency, 432 hertz as opposed to 440. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Modern music is played at 440, which is antagonistic to the brain.
Yeah.
This is what the Nazis used in the Second World War to stir up crowds, yes, and get them so agitated that they can do anything. Whereas 432 has a very calming effect on the body. Let me say that the late great Bob Marley played his music at 432 hertz.
Of course.
That's probably why so many people love his music. You know.
And you can feel the slow pace, the slow beat to the music, can't you?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
Just to help people who may not be sure what 432 hertz would mean, as Vasco said, just go and listen to some Bob Marley music, and that will give you a sense of the beat and the rhythm, and compared to other music.
Absolutely, and especially when he starts playing One Love, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Put it on and play it, and play some. And on YouTube, actually, you can find lots of different videos there with different hertz: 432, 538, 741, which are all conducive to relaxation. Yes, good health, raising of vibrations and raising your spirit and all of that. All of that stuff. All right. Exercise. Not something I do a lot of these days. But I used to be an avid dancer when I was a bit younger. But now the legs don't carry me as well as they should. Okay. So I have to come into your place where you're dancing, Rudy, and remind myself of what I was capable of doing when I was younger. Exercise is important.
Yeah, a bit of walking.
You know the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it?
Exactly. And we used to have an old saying years ago. We used to say, how the legs go, the heart goes. Absolutely crucial.
Yeah. So let me expand on that for you. I put it in a different context. If you don't exercise your muscles, they go weak, yes?
Yeah.
Right. Which is the most important muscle in your body?
Got to be the heart muscle, surely.
Got to be the heart muscle. Now, when you don't physically exercise, right, the heart isn't getting any serious exercise.
Yeah.
Because it's a muscle. You've got to, do a little fast walking, a little run here and there.
Yeah.
Or make sure that as you start to get on a little bit in age, you park the car or leave it in the garage or in front of the house, wherever, and just do a little bit of walking.
I was just saying walking.
Don't drive 200 yards to buy a newspaper, right? just walk up the road and walk back.
Yes.
Yep.
Really
or
important.
Perhaps if your knees can still allow you to do it, walk up the stairs. Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter when you hold on to the banister or the rail or whatever. Just walk up and down for a few minutes, right? And you can also do press-ups.
Yeah.
You can lie down on your back on your floor, put your two bare feet up against the wall, and pretend you're walking. Yep.
Yeah.
In and out and in and out. And that is good exercise for your whole body, right? Or you can practice Tai Chi, which is a very non-physical type of physical exercise.
That's right. That's right. And there's lots of classes in the local communities, the local centres. So again, you can go on the websites and just have a look into your local civic authority, local libraries. They all have that type of information.
Absolutely right. And then we come to overall nutrition. They're literally, I call it the 7 pillars of nutrition. All right? Yeah. 7 pillars. So let's go through them one at a time. The first one then is carbohydrates, okay?
Yeah.
Which I spoke about earlier. The second one would be protein, yeah. Which I spoke about. The third one is fat, which I spoke about. Now we have 4 more to consider. What would they be? Vitamins. Yeah?
Yeah.
Vitamins, let's talk a little bit about vitamins. Vitamins break down into 2 types, water-soluble and fat-soluble. All right? Water-soluble vitamins are vitamins your body cannot store. So you have to replenish them regularly. Okay?
Yeah.
Fat-soluble, those 2 vitamins are really, excuse me, vitamin C and vitamin B. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So C and B, your body cannot store them, so you have to replenish. But within the B vitamins, there is an anomaly. There is one B vitamin that your body can store. You know which one that is?
D?
That is, sorry?
No, I don't know. I'm not going to guess.
That's B12.
B12. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your body can store that for up to 3 months.
Okay.
And to show that nature doesn't work, by way of guesswork, vitamin B12 is associated with, lack of vitamin B12, let's phrase it correctly.
Yeah.
Lack of vitamin B12 is associated with Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
Right? So you should get your vitamin B12.
Mm.
But there's another anomaly as well. The greatest source of vitamin B12, believe it or not, is beef.
Yeah,
animal product.
I was going to ask you which food has the most B12 in.
Yeah.
And it would turn out to be beef, eh?
Yeah.
Mm.
So you can beef up your B12 by eating beef, yes?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Right. But there are other sources as well.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
you have to look them up and find out what they are. Now, the vitamins that your body can store are, I remember them a bit by association. Okay, when I hear something new, I try to associate it with something that I already know, and then I don't forget it. So when I hear about vitamins, I think of a little boy called Adek, A-D-E-K.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 vitamins that your body can store. All right?
Yeah.
A, D, and we call vitamin D3 a vitamin, but it's not really a vitamin. But that's what we call it, a vitamin. A, D, E, and K.
Adek.
Right?
Yeah.
And when people talk a lot about vitamins, you hear them talk about A, D, and E, but very seldom do people think of vitamin K.
Rudy?
Yeah.
Can I interject here, because we have to go live to Jamaica in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. We got. We'll
wrap up,
we'll wrap up now.
Go. If they're waiting on the.
Yeah. Okay.
So we can't keep them waiting. So if you could.
Well. Okay. Okay, James. Go on now.
Right. 2 minutes I've got.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All right. So that's vitamin. Minerals. Yes.
Yeah.
Minerals. We need a lot of magnesium.
Yeah.
Have we got someone talking in the background?
Yeah. Keep going, Vasco, to the last 2. Just so that I think what we'll do this time, just give us the headings. Then the next time we'll go into the details of the ones that you couldn't go into today.
Right.
So we've got minerals.
So
we want 6 and 7.
Minerals, vitamins, and of course we have water, which we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So vitamins, minerals,
water,
and what was the other one I was just speaking about?
You mentioned magnesium.
Right. Magnesium, zinc, cinnamon, all of these are vitamins and herbs minerals and herbs that the body needs.
Great.
All right?
All right.
So to put them in order of priority, what you should be doing where nutrition is concerned, you should be seeking out some of the best vitamins possible and the best minerals possible, okay, for your body, and the best herbs possible, and you should have, say, a go-to list.
Okay.
These should be part of your diet on a daily basis,
Right.
regardless of what else is happening. All right? And
Excellent.
you'll find that by doing that, you'll substantially reduce your risk of any kind of disease.
Great. Thanks for that. And we're definitely going to have a part 2. And I'd just like to tell everybody in Haringey, there's a great shop called Eternal Life on West Green Road, 124A West Green Road, N15 5AA. And they've got a vast range of all those products and ingredients that Vasco has spoken about. They have them on sale there, and they're focused on African and Caribbean holistic health and well-being. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, James, and thank you, and we'll talk again. Hi, Jackie.
Hello.
Hi. Sorry?
Are you still gonna join?
Let me just
Yeah,
close.
join. Come on.